I want to talk about what is a wayshower. A wayshower is a soul that is introducing a whole new way of thinking, a whole new way of being, something that has never been stated before. It's got to be someone essentially that is scouting out unknown territory. And as a spiritual wayshower or a wayshower of the soul, Jesus of Bible times would have been a wayshower. That's why he referred to himself as I am the way, I am the truth, I am the light and the life, because he had a peculiar consciousness. And today, in these days, in this generation, I find myself also to be a wayshower, in that I am scouting out consciousness and a knowing that hasn't been known in my generation. At least, yes, there are always a few individuals that have known and that have maybe not become known with their message or for their message. But we see this expanding more and more now. There's many more wayshowers now, essentially pointing to the same goal. And what is this way that we are showing? The way, the truth, and the life is the way of finding your own soul and expressing your authentic and unique soul essence. Now there's a problem. It's not so easy to do these two things of finding your soul and expressing your soul in a pure, undistorted way, because we don't come into this life with a pure slate. We have a lot of programming that has skewed us into egoic behavior. For example, the narrative of believing in God, believing in Jesus, and respecting and loving and worshiping Him has derailed most of us from pursuing the mission and the purpose of discovering our own soul blueprint and our own soul expression. The belief system of believing in a God outside of yourself, outside of your soul, and the entire narrative that comes with that, the Christian narrative, has planted a subconscious virus of fear in our being, because we have been indoctrinated into an external God, the worship of an external God. That God and his judgments always hovers over us like a shadow. And essentially, because of that, we do not dare release and set our soul free to be what it authentically would express if it didn't have this subconscious programming of the external God and his laws in us. There is always that subtle fear of being judged for disobeying one of his commandments. It's subconscious. It is subconscious, meaning you're probably not going to be aware of that underlying fear. And so you are performing for this God, to please this God. But you do not get to experience your soul and what it is like for your soul to express unhindered. If you didn't have to obey a God, if you didn't fear some kind of judgment after death, if there wasn't a God to judge you, how would you truly live out your life? How would your soul wish to express itself? And for that, this consciousness of our soul being the God that we're worshipping is very essential, because you have to become the highest authority in order to express uncensored and without fear. And unless and until we do so, unless and until we dissolve this idea that there is a God to judge us, we are not going to have the courage to express our authentic self. We will only ever express our conformed ego, the conformed religious or Christian ego that seeks to please a God outside of itself. And so you'll have spent your entire life in this ego state, but you have never come to know your true self. And it takes radical change. It takes a wayshower to go first. And I am such a wayshower. I am stepping into a realm that is completely new. And I know that I am the way, just like Jesus. But Christianity hijacked his message of finding your own soul. It was all about finding your own soul. He even said a scripture verse, I don't remember now the passage, but it says What shall it profit a man if he gains the whole world, but lose his own soul? And what shall it profit a man if he engrosses himself in Christian religion, in an ego-based worship, and lose his own soul, of never having come to know its own soul, his or her own soul? Who would you be if there wasn't a God looking over your shoulders? Who would you express as in your purest innocence? That's really the way we should live.